This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Haldeman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dudes Who Bet Sports show on a Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I don't know about you, Papa Dude. This is one of my favorite weekends, weekish of the year, right? Once we get to Thanksgiving, sports is pretty darn good.
Yeah, Friday. I love Friday because we have college football all over the place. On Friday, we usually have some really good games. The pros on Thursday don't interest me as much as they used to, but I really look forward to Friday. And then there's always a big game or two on Saturday, and we've got them this week.
A lot of rivalry games in college football too going on. Yeah, that's always a lot of fun. That's usually, OSU usually plays this weekend. Don't know why they didn't do that this year. You got any idea?
No, I don't. Every once in a while they do. They switch that off, and I really don't know why, because that's always been something. A lot of we went to a lot of games over the Thanksgiving weekend down in Norman playing Oklahoma State.
Did you watch any college basketball last night by chance?
Yes, I watched the Arkansas Creighton game.
I was going to say, I watched my first college basketball game of the year, Arkansas and Creighton. Mm-hmm. I don't know about you. I thought those two teams were damn good.
Hey, I was impressed with Creighton.
Yeah,
they're good. And Arkansas is too. Wow. They put on a show, both teams. It's hard for me to pick either one of them today because they left it all out there last night. And Arkansas is playing without one of their best players, I guess, which I didn't realize that. Man, they got a freshman that's really good. they're good. And Creighton, they're going to be a force. They're always good. I thought Arkansas would beat them. I really did. And Creighton was impressive. That was a great game.
Russ chimes in and said those refs, it was one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen. I totally agree. Arkansas has plenty of reason to complain, and it was bad. But like I said, coming into tonight, both tough games again tonight for these two teams over in Maui. They're in the tournament over there. So it's hard to know what are they going to come back with. I was super impressed. Arkansas, a younger team, but was able to hang in the game and still have a chance to win at the end, where Creighton had the experience and that. Plus, they got the breaks in that game with a few calls, and that helped. But we've talked about it a lot on the Daily Show. These early basketball games don't really matter if you win or lose them. It's good to get those games under your belt.
It pads your resume later in the year, for a higher seed, and that's it. That's the only thing it means. It doesn't mean anything else.
Yeah.
A nice trip over to Maui. The thing I guarantee you they're talking about in the Arkansas locker room before the game today, they did not play very well defensively.
Yeah.
And I think Arkansas normally plays better on the defensive end. And Creighton was getting a lot of good shots against them. But Creighton is pretty good. They're pretty sound, and they play in a very difficult league.
And you see that sometimes with a young basketball team, that defense is usually the last thing that kind of comes together for you, So
I've found over the years, the more talented you are, the worse defense you play.
Mm-hmm.
Because you realize you're going to score. You're in good shape. You don't have to play. Right. Usually the crappiest teams I had played the best defense because they knew they couldn't score very well, so they had to go down and play well on the other end. The more talented teams were okay on defense, but not as good as the bad ones.
Isn't that so true? And just like a really, really good point. You think of some of those OU teams that didn't have anybody that could really score under Kelvin Sampson back in the day. Man, they would hold teams down and play great defense. And then when he got better players in there, all of a sudden Kelvin Sampson couldn't coach defense,
And that's just the way it is. I know when the last really good team we had, where I just finished up coaching, we were good on defense, but not as good as the year before when we weren't quite as good offensively. It's just really amazing how that works.
Yeah, people are chiming in. Mark says, "Yeah, it's like the Warriors. So they'll give up 110, score 125."
Yeah.
Yeah. Arkansas plays San Diego State. I forget who
But,
Creighton's playing tonight. Really good team.
yeah.
God, I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway,
Wait,
Louisville says, "Way to go, Cardinals!" We'll talk about the Louisville Cardinals.
oh my
in
God,
Maui.
Dennis,
Holy
they
shit.
are awful.
Oh my God.
They are just horrendously bad. And what's going on?
I don't know.
This is Louisville. I mean, they're usually always good, and this is really bad. Yeah, Arizona tonight against Creighton should be a tremendous. I think it's this afternoon, actually. Should be a tremendous game. And,
That's right. Yeah.
That'll be a very, very hard game for Arkansas today to get back ready to go. But I picked them because I think they're better.
They are the better team. Yeah, I agree with that. And yeah, this Arizona Creighton game is going to be a good one as well. I could not remember who they played, but yeah, it's funny. I think when football starts, it's the first thing we've had since like 2 months of baseball, right? And so it's like,
yeah,
oh, I love football. Then the other sports start, and it's like, wait, I think I just like all sports except for baseball as far as watching them on TV.
Well, college basketball starts so darn early.
Yeah.
And it overlaps into the last part of the most exciting part of football season. And so it gets overlooked a lot. And I'm the same way, but we're picking these games every day. Like we saw on the Daily Show today, we had 66 games to pick tonight. And I've kind of keeping up with it more than I used to in these early games because they don't really mean a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
The elite teams can drop one here early in the season. It doesn't really matter. So you don't get into it. I usually don't get into college basketball till after the first of the year. Yeah. And that's when conference season starts, and that's when it really gets fun. Yeah. But kind of following it a lot this year, and there's just a multitude of games every day we got to wade through because there's so many Division I college basketball teams.
Yeah, I text my uncle. Of course, we've talked about it many times. We have Razorbacks in the family, and I said for November 22nd, this is a damn good basketball game. I mean, it felt like you're in midseason form there with that one.
That was a good one.
Yeah, finally got a quick mention. The Blues have won 7 in a row, looking for number 8 tonight in Buffalo. So we'll see, Mark, if our team can get it done. Man, they're playing awfully damn well right now.
They are, and we pretty much wrote them off, and then here they come out of nowhere, and they've won 7 in a row. They got hot against Vegas and Colorado, which turned their whole season around. To me, this is I know this is stupid because the season's very young, but this is a big game tonight. You get 3 games over 500 going down to Tampa and Florida to play 2 really good teams. You want to get this one tonight in case you stub your toe a couple times this weekend, which I don't think they'll do. I think they usually play well against those good teams.
Yeah, Bennington in net tonight, and Tarasenko is back tonight, and Torrey Krug looks like he's going to play as well. That was the last update I got. Also, Bertuzzo off the IR. He's back. I don't know if he'll play tonight, but he is back with the team. So a lot to look forward to there. We'll be talking about that a lot. All right, let's do the football. Let's round it up here. Let's get it going.
All right.
We'll start with the college. We'll start with tomorrow. We'll start with the Egg Bowl. This is always a fun game. The Egg Bowl here. Ole Miss, 2.5-point favorite. They're needing a win. A couple of really bad losses. Also, rumors are swirling that Lane Kiffin could be headed to Auburn. He says no. Many reports say yes. We'll see what happens there. But what about this game? Does Ole Miss pick up a win and get to 9-3 here?
Well, before we get it, so Lane Kiffin to Auburn. Now, let's think about this a minute. It would have to be money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because why would anybody go to Auburn with Georgia and Alabama rolling right now? You realize how hard that job is when those 2 teams are getting the best recruits that you go up against, and they're getting them right now?
Yeah.
It'll be a tough job. I don't think he's leaving. I really don't. I don't know about this game. I've got, Mississippi's not playing very good. They're coming off 2 losses. I don't think where they play this game means much.
No.
I don't think. Mississippi State is Mississippi State. They play about the same every week. Nothing really bothers them. 2.5, I'm probably going to go with Ole Miss because I think they're a little better. but it would not shock me if the Bulldogs come in and pull off a surprise.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to take Ole Miss, but I'm also with you that I don't think they're very good. But the thing is, I don't think Mississippi State is very good either.
No.
I think these are two middle of the road teams. So I'll take Mississippi State minus that 2.5. But I'm with you. I would not be shocked if that goes either way. That's probably not one I'm going to touch. I'm just a little bit leery of those two teams this year, especially the way Ole Miss is kind of finishing off the season. And listen, when there's smoke, there's usually fire. If there's rumors that he might be going, maybe they aren't quite as concentrated on the season now that it's, quote unquote over for them. All right, let's go to Saturday. Let's go Tulane and Cincinnati. I'm shocked by the line on this one. Cincinnati at 1-point favorite. And what that tells me, if this was on a neutral field, we would actually be favoring Tulane in this game. Cincinnati 1-point favorite. I kind of think Cincinnati's going to win this game. What about you?
Man, this is 11 o'clock on Friday. I'm telling you, this is a sneaky good game right here. Yes. I would be more confident in Tulane if I didn't see what Central Florida did to them a couple of weeks ago. They kind of shredded them. Cincinnati's kind of a physical, no-nonsense type of team. I don't know if Tulane can handle that. Central Florida knocked them around pretty good. I'm with you. I think Cincinnati's going to win it. They've had another great season that no one's talking about, and so is Tulane. Both Tulane's had a tremendous season. I hope Tulane wins, but I'm going to take Cincinnati. I think they're going to win because I think they're a little more physical.
Cincinnati, we have a term in horse racing called class, right? And sometimes it's like, okay, if they're evenly matched, I'm going to take the horse that has the class. Well, Cincinnati has the class over Tulane. There's no doubt about it. They've been in much bigger situations, much bigger games. I just have a feeling that's going to make the difference in this game. I'll take Cincinnati minus the 1 here. This is one I'm pretty interested in. All right, let's move on. Baylor and Texas. Talk about Jekyll and Hyde. Baylor has been Jekyll and Hyde all season long. You never know what you're going to get out of them. Some weeks they're good. Some weeks they're horrible. Texas, they've been pretty consistently just kind of in that average range the whole season. They're back ranked at number 23 here. They're an 8.5-point favorite at home against Baylor. Where are you looking in this one?
I think Texas could be 6-5 and be ranked.
Yeah, right.
7-4. Who have they beat?
Yeah.
No one. Why are they ranked? I don't understand it.
I would say the win at Kansas State went a long way to get them back in the rankings.
There's not a lot of elite teams too. So
anyway,
Texas and Baylor. Well, I don't see how Baylor can put out much of an effort, except they're playing Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And all the other schools in the state of Texas hate UT. So they may give an effort, but that was a heartbreaking loss last week. I kind of think Texas may beat them by 14 or so in this game.
I agree. I'm on Texas this weekend as well, and I'm not usually, but I am this week. I think they're pretty much, I think they're pretty much just gonna Baylor. I'm just with you. Got blown out against K-State and then played great and lost and get that reward. I think Texas is just going to be the better team on Friday.
I do too.
Shotty says Musselman was close to throwing hands last night. I really thought he was going to get kicked out of the game. He was so mad. It was hilarious. All right, let's go back. North Carolina State, North Carolina. Before last week, this seemingly would be pretty easy. Just take the Tar Heels. But after that loss at home to Georgia Tech, they host North Carolina State. They're struggling too, though. North Carolina, 6.5-point favorite. Is that an overreaction from what happened last weekend?
I don't know. The luster is really off of this game.
Yeah.
This could have really, they could have went to 11-1, losing to Georgia Tech at home. There's just no excuse for that.
Mm-mm.
I think North Carolina State might beat them. It's a season-saving game for them. They've been disappointing. I don't think North Carolina is as good as 9-2. I've got to take them because it's in Chapel Hill and their quarterback is dynamic. Is the North Carolina State quarterback, is he back?
No, he's out.
I just don't think they've got enough to beat him, but I didn't think Georgia Tech did either, and they beat them. Yeah. Carolina will be ready for this one. So I'm going to take them, but it may be a 3-point game. I don't know. I don't like that spread. I think they might play them closer than that spread.
I'm kind of leaning towards the Dennis side here. I think North Carolina's going to bounce back. I think they're a little bit better. I think they bounce back. I think they're going to get it done. I'll take them minus the 6.5 on Friday. All right, UCLA, boy, they've really stumbled. Now they go on the road to finish the season up against California. UCLA a 10-point favorite. California is not great, but what's UCLA got left coming into this game? That's the question.
This is a dangerous game for UCLA.
Yep.
I think I'll take California plus 10.
Yep.
In this because Cal's playing a little better. They beat their big rivals last week in Stanford. They've got a little bit of momentum going. They've lost a couple of close games. I don't see any way UCLA gets ready to play this game.
Yep.
I just don't. So to me, the trick is California going to be motivated to play? They may look at this as their bowl game because they're not going anywhere.
Yep.
And UCLA has nothing to play for. So I'm going California plus the points. I'm not too sure they don't win.
I'm with you. I took California plus the 10 here as well. And you hit it right on the head. And this is important. No bowl game for California. Mm-hmm. Got a ranked team at home that is not very good. You know, it's not looked very good, at least lately. UCLA has absolutely nothing to play for now. California has all the motivation in the world. And with that, I think they can keep it within 10 without a doubt. All right, let's move on. Florida State. Florida State, we've talked about them a lot. They've kind of made the first step towards becoming really good again. They had to have a 8-3, 9-3 type season first. They had to get above, just pure mediocrity. They've done it. Now they host Florida for a chance to get that 9th win. They're 9.5-point favorites. This game is in Tallahassee. I really like Florida State here. But do you think the Gators come up with an inspired effort?
Well, they're coming off a very bad loss at Vanderbilt. Was that last week?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
And Florida State has been laying for this one. I think they've run 4 in a row after losing 3 in a row. And I like them a lot. Dennis doesn't like them. I do. I think Florida State's on the verge of getting back in the ACC. Get this one, go to a bowl game, win 10. That's a pretty good start to the year.
Boy, and they've had a chance in some of those games that they lost too. So that's another thing to kind of look at. I think Florida State wins. Dennis is going to go Florida plus the points.
It's a lot of points.
It's a rivalry game. New coach at Florida, hasn't had a great season whatsoever. This would be a big win for them. So I think they'll come in for the big game. But the bottom line is, Russ is right. You can't lose to Vanderbilt. And before they'd lost to Vanderbilt, the whole season had just kind of been slowly going down. I'm with you. I'm going to take Florida State.
I think the guy will turn it around eventually at Florida and get him back going. But that is another school that's being affected by how good the team we're going to talk about next is.
You're right. Listen, Georgia-Florida is a huge rivalry, and it's a rivalry for a lot of reasons. And one big one is recruiting. And Georgia's getting the players right now. They're 35.5-point favorites against Georgia Tech here. Not a whole lot to talk about in this situation, right?
No, but it's so interesting how this works in these places. Georgia, up until the last 3 or 4 years, had been 8-4, 9-3.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Auburn was 11-1, 10-2. That's when Florida was playing extremely well. So now Georgia has taken the place of Auburn and Florida State to a certain extent. So, Alabama's always been there. But when one team rises to the top, it affects the others around them. And that's kind of what's happened. They're getting these awesome recruits. When you see Texas fall in the state of Texas, look and see who comes along. Baylor has been good, better than Texas.
Mm-hmm.
TCU is riding the wave right now. I don't know what's happened there. That's a whole different thing. Just a masterful job at TCU. Mm-hmm. And the other school that no one can figure out is A&M, because they seem to get the recruits every year, but they don't pan out. So anyway, this game shouldn't be anything at all. Georgia should kill them. It is a rivalry, but when one team is bad and the other one's great, you can't expect a very good game. So just don't bet it because who knows what might happen.
Yeah, a lot of points. That's the
Points.
thing.
Too
There's all kinds of better things to bet this weekend. Yeah, you're right. And it's something Sean Payton really was on. I think he was on with Cowherd, and he really pointed it out. He said he was talking about the NFL, but it's the same difference. He said within your division of 4 teams, one of you is going to be really good, one of you is going to be just okay, and the other 2 are going to be bad most times.
Yep.
He said, and all it is, you're just trying to flip who that is. He said, so I saw a ton of coaches, come and go because we were always in one of those top couple spots.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. If one team goes up, the other team has to come down. Not everybody can always be good. And so that's what you're seeing. If Georgia's rising and Alabama's rising, I'm sorry, Auburn, Florida, you're not going to be very good.
No, because they're going to beat you, first of all.
Well, that's number 1, and number 2, they're beating you out for recruits, and that's how it goes. Absolutely. All right, Michigan and Ohio State, 2 teams that are really good. They are the 2 teams in the Big Ten. They finally square off. Both teams 11-0, biggest game of the year without any doubt. Number 2 versus number 3. Ohio State 7.5-point favorites here at home. Of course, Michigan got them last year. Can they do it again, or do the Buckeyes have enough to reclaim this rivalry?
Well, this is another one of those games where you look at Ohio State, they have all the fancy stuff. They have all the flash.
Yep.
They're fancy. They score points in bunches. And you got the plotters in Michigan. They just go about their business. They get 3 yards here, 5 here, control the clock, play great defense, kind of an old-fashioned style.
No doubt.
That's why you see the line at 7.5 when it shouldn't be that high. I think it was more than that last year, and Michigan stomped them. Now, the issue is Michigan's running back. Is he going to be able to play? We don't know that as of yet. I looked it up right before the show, and there's no all they'll say is there wasn't any structural damage, which leads you to believe he's going to play. Is he healthy? That's the thing. Is he at full strength? We don't know. I want to take Michigan. I don't think Ohio State's that good. 7.5, I don't think. But I just don't know the effect of the running back. Last year, we thought Ohio State was going to throw the ball on them, go deep, get big plays, and massacre them. It didn't happen. Michigan beat the snot out of at the line of scrimmage. I don't know that Ohio State's any better this year. We don't know. But we also don't know about Michigan. They haven't played anybody either. Both teams have played Penn State. Both handled them about the same. Yeah, Michigan probably had a little bit easier time of it, but they got them at home, and Ohio State had to go to Happy Valley. And then Ohio State's played Notre Dame. Michigan hasn't played anybody else. I'm not going to take the points. It could get away from Michigan. I'll admit that. I think they're pretty darn good. I do. I think Ohio State wins, but I'm going to take Michigan plus 7.5.
Well, Dennis kind of said it. He thinks the hook could hurt. Maybe it's talking about a 7-point win and not an 8-point win. And so that 7.5 does make it tricky. Yeah, keep an eye on Blake Corum and the injury there at Michigan. That's going to be the key, right? If he plays, all of a sudden that's plus 7.5 looks pretty good. And if you've got a feeling he's going to play, go ahead and lock that in, because if it is announced that he's going to be in, that's going to likely move a little bit. Again, though, it's college football, and you never know who's going to play until they get out there on the field.
I'll tell you another thing. If I was USC, I'd be rooting my butt off for Ohio State to win, because a one-loss Michigan team doesn't have the appeal to a committee that a one-loss USC team has.
Ohio State team has, yeah.
Yeah.
I got what you're saying. Yeah.
But a one-loss Ohio State team has got that flash that everybody looks at. So if I was USC, I would be a huge Ohio State fan.
Well, if you're USC, I think the big thing you're rooting for as well is a lopsided game, right?
Yeah.
Even if Ohio State was to get beat 35-7, then
Yeah.
that would change as well. You want a lopsided game if you're.
And I guess I'm forgetting something else. If you're a USC fan, you really want to be rooting for TCU to get beat in the next 2 weeks.
Well, that's obviously, yes.
While you win. So
that is a big thing as well.
Yeah.
I'll take Ohio State minus the 7.5. I'll go the other side of it. But we'll see. I would not be shocked if you're right on this one. I would not, because this 7.5 is a lot of points in a game like this. All right. Clemson and South Carolina. That's next. South Carolina coming off the big win against Tennessee. Can they do it again? Can they get another upset? They'll have to go on the road to do it. Clemson, a 14.5-point favorite. This is a bitter rivalry. Most people do not realize that. These two teams hate each other. What do you think about this one?
Well, I just remember last year when South Carolina was coming off another big win. I can't remember who they beat, but it was somebody pretty good, and they beat them at home. And they had Clemson the next week. Clemson had lost 3 games last year coming into South Carolina, and I kind of thought they might get them, and Clemson beat them like 37-0.
Mm-hmm.
They just stomped them. The only thing I see, I think Clemson will win. The only thing I see is the line, 14.5. Is that too many points? And I just think Clemson's got their number. I don't know when's the last time South Carolina won.
I think Clemson will beat them by 30.
I think they're going to roll too. I just think they're better.
This is a situation where South Carolina has been pretty putrid for a lot of the season. Yes, they were 6-5 or 6-4 going into that game. You watch them, you're like, I don't know how they're 6-4. They played a fantastic game. They'll give them a ton of credit for that.
Oh, yeah.
But can they do that again? I don't think so. I'll take Clemson in this one minus that 14.5. This is an interesting one. Glad Dennis is with us because his Louisville Cardinals are ranked number 25 in the country. Louisville 7-4. They deserve it. They played great after a bad start to the season. They played really well. They go on the road to Kentucky, 6-5, a disappointing season for them. Kentucky, a 3-point favorite. This is a big game. What do you think about this one?
Well, I don't know whether you saw. Did you see Mark Stoops has got the big raise?
Yes.
His contract? Yeah.
Yeah.
He is set. I think he's going to make over $8 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Because the rumors were he was tied into Auburn and Nebraska. So they went in and locked him up till 2031, I think.
Yeah, big extension. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a big game, a huge game. And in the state of Kentucky, I think this is a season saver for Kentucky. This has been a very disappointing year. They lose this one at 6-6. They would have to say this is one of their most disappointing seasons in a long time.
Yeah.
So to me, they're looking at this as a season saver. Louisville's already had a really good year. They can make it really special if they can get this one. So I don't know. Is Dennis still around? I don't know what the home field is.
It's pretty funny because Dennis is a Cardinal fan. He says we're going to lose. And then Trish comes on as a Kentucky fan and she thinks Kentucky's going to lose. So, so a lot of confidence from the fan base is here on Dudes Who Bet.
Well, that's normal. That's the way we are too, guys. We're the same way. I'm leaning towards Louisville in it. I don't know whether Louisville thinks they can beat Kentucky. That's the thing I'm wondering about.
I'm leaning Kentucky. I'm leaning Kentucky.
Well, that makes sense.
I think the 3 points is right about where it'll be, but I think Kentucky does cover it. I just think they're at home. They need it. They really need this win. Louisville's had a good season for them, but I don't know. I just think Kentucky has got a little bit better players. I think they'll win a really close game.
The other angle to play is Kentucky has played better teams than Louisville has.
There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
It's all going to come down to is how Kentucky looks at this game, or is it a season saver for them? I would think they would play it like that.
My cat is literally trying to climb the walls behind me.
I looked back there. I knew that was the cat. I didn't know what the cat was doing, but I knew it was the cat.
All right, let's move on. You're going Louisville. I'm going Kentucky. This will be a good game. I'm looking forward to watching this one. Naturally, being in horse racing, fans from both schools, so it's kind of fun to follow it. All right, Auburn and Alabama. Not a ton to talk about, I don't think, in this one. Auburn's just ready to get the season over. Alabama probably is ready to get the season over anyway, even though they're still number 7 in the country. 22-point favorite. Auburn almost beat them last year in Auburn. I don't think that's going to happen again, but what about you?
Well, it's another one of those games you don't know what's going to happen, but you're pretty sure you know what's going to happen. Yeah. But Auburn had them beat last year, and I think they were 5-6 going into that game last year.
They weren't good. I remember that. Yeah.
And Alabama was better than they are this year. But it's in Tuscaloosa, 22. You might look at that and say it's a rivalry game. That's a little too high. I will be shocked if Alabama loses.
I would be shocked too. 22 might be a little high, though. It's kind of I'm not going to play this game type of thing.
Right.
But I'm not going to be surprised at all if Alabama doesn't blow them out. Right. But we'll see. And I think Dennis makes a good point. If only Auburn had shown a little bit, they're a little better, you could say, I could get behind that 22. But if they were a little better, they probably wouldn't be 22-point underdogs. So
no, but I bet you they were like 25-point underdogs last year, and they almost beat them.
Yeah, they may have been more. The Cat has officially lost it, by the way. All right, we'll go on. Oregon and Oregon State. It is wild at our house right now. Oregon and Oregon State in this one. This is going to be a good game. You've been talking about this game for weeks, I feel like. Oregon State at home, but Oregon, the 3-point favorite. Huge game for the Ducks. What do you think about this one?
I am shocked this is an afternoon game. This is usually at night. And it's usually on Friday, I think, or it has been in the past.
Yeah.
Now, the Civil War is always a great game. It always is. I wouldn't be shocked to see a big upset here. Oregon's coming off 2 emotion-packed games, especially last week. They've got aspirations to go to the Pac-12 championship game. I don't know how that affects them. I think they're out if they lose.
Right.
I believe Utah's – well, no, wait a minute. They beat –
No, it would be Washington would be in.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Now, if Washington beat Washington State.
Yeah, they got a big game too.
There's some ifs, yeah.
So there's a lot on the line. Look at Oregon State's record. They're 8-3. They took USC to the wire and could have beat them.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget that because that was really early in the season. They're tough at home. The weather looks good, 45 degrees, because a lot of times it's raining in that game. I think Oregon's going to win it, but it's not going to shock me if Oregon State pulls this one out.
I'm going to take Oregon State plus that 3. I'll take a little shot. I think the Ducks are better, but I don't think they're great. And I will take the Ducks plus the 3. That's going to be a hell of a game. I'm really looking forward to that one. All right, let's move on. This line is funny to me. TCU, number 4 in the country, 11-0, trying to go 12-0, perfect regular season. They're at home. They take on the worst team in the Big 12 in Iowa State, and I've seen them firsthand. They're not great. They're very good defensively, very bad offensively. TCU is only a 10-point favorite in this game. To me, they are a home run slam dunk in this one, but what do you think about this line?
Have you ever seen a team get less respect that's undefeated going into the last game of the year?
No.
Me neither.
No.
And they've got no respect for the entire season. They've been underdogs. They were underdogs, what, at 10 points to Texas, I think it was a couple of weeks ago?
Yep.
They're undefeated. If they went out, they're in the playoffs. They're playing a 4-7 team that will play as hard as possible. They do. They're very well coached. They have no offense, 0.
No.
Against a very good offensive team. Now, they will give TCU some fits with their defense because it's good. 10 points, I think they will smash them.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 38-7, something like that. I would take TCU plus the points all day long.
Yeah, I was really surprised when I saw this line. So.
I wasn't, because it's been that way all year.
That's true. It has. You're not wrong about that. And here it is again. So
they win and they go, well, they're going to be in a championship game no matter what. They may be underdogs to whoever they play.
They might be.
Yeah.
You might be spot on about that. I don't know. Iowa State does tend to play everybody close, and so maybe that's kind of what they're thinking. But yeah, it's crazy.
Listen, if that was Oklahoma, they'd be a 25-point favorite in that game.
I agree.
So it's who they are.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
No, you're right. All right, Michigan State on the road taking on Penn State. It just came out. Let's see if I can read this. 7 Michigan State football players are charged, 1 facing a felony charge for an assault in the tunnel after the Michigan game. So I don't know what the status of those 7 players are for this game against Michigan or against Penn State. Will it matter? I don't know. I think Penn State's going to roll. 18.5-point favorite. What do you think?
So they've charged 7 Michigan State players.
Yes, with that fight with the Michigan players.
But I saw a lot of that.
Uh-huh.
The Michigan player incited some of that.
Mm-hmm.
He ran right into them, taunting them.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I don't understand it. To me, he's asking for it. I maybe they should have said, no, we're not going to hit you. But these are our football players who just lost a rivalry game, and you got a little blabbermouth coming in the middle of 7 or 8 of you. I think he was asking for it. Anyway, that's the video I saw. There may be more to it.
Yeah.
The bottom line is you don't go up the same tunnel like that. Yeah. I am surprised the Texas-Oklahoma thing hasn't escalated into that at times.
They do a good job keeping them away from each other.
They really do. They do. And there may be more respect in that game than we think, because I've never heard of any fighting amongst the players.
No.
Heated rivalry, and the same thing in Auburn, Alabama. You don't hear about that very often. But anyway, they both go up the same tunnel at the big house in Michigan. They don't like each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of asking for it. Anyway, Penn State easy in this one. I think Penn State's one of these teams that's going to be 10-2, and no one's talking about them much.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good season in most parts of the world, I'll tell you.
Yep. And it's a decent season for Penn State, too.
You bet.
So, Utah, 29.5-point favorite against Colorado. Colorado, the worst team in college football, probably. So
this is all about, does Utah have anything left? How much motivation do they have?
So you got one side where you could try to take Utah, and the other side is, I don't think they're motivated, but then you look and it's like, do I really want to back Colorado to do it? So
Colorado is waiting. They can't wait. They want the game over with as fast as possible.
Exactly. All right, let's move on. Number 5 in the country. This is another one. LSU, number 5 in the country. That's right. They've ranked them ahead of USC, which the committee is telling you LSU's going to the playoff if they beat Georgia. Anyway, which I don't think they're going to do, but that's a discussion for next week. LSU only a 10-point favorite on the road against 4-7 hapless Texas A&M. This is another line that surprised me. What did you think of this one?
This one doesn't surprise me as much as the other one, because I think a lot of it is LSU went to Arkansas 2 weeks ago and only scored 13 points.
Yep.
And I think Vegas knows that LSU is living off beating Alabama. That's the only thing they're living off of.
Yeah.
And Alabama's not that good this year. And don't get me wrong, they've had a hell of a year. And they deserve, I don't know if they're number 5. I don't think they deserve to be number 5, because you beat Alabama in a year they're not that good. Yeah. And so anyway, the other thing, it's A&M. You're going in there. It's hard to win in College Station. But they got a bunch of Yardbirds. They got problems. I can't see them winning. So it may be closer, though, than we think. I could see them playing them close.
I think they're kind of done, though. As a team, I'm saying. I think they don't. I just question that they really care about this.
Yeah, and the other thing is they only beat UMass, 20-3?
Yeah.
That, to me, makes that line should have went up a little. So if I was going to bet it, I'd bet LSU to cover. But I bet it's late before they do.
You talked about that Arkansas game. Well, Arkansas still cares. They're still playing hard. They're still trying to win. I don't know about this A&M team.
The thing with Arkansas, though, they didn't have a quarterback that day.
Well, Arkansas would have beat them if they would have had a quarterback.
I know. That's
that's what I'm saying, though. I mean, they
Yeah.
still came out there and gave it everything they had.
Well, sure they did. They always do.
Yeah. All right. Central Florida, how are they still ranked?
That I don't know.
We're not talking about this game because they shouldn't
When
be
you
ranked.
lose to Navy on your home field, you shouldn't be ranked.
We are not talking about that game. Forget it. That's a joke that they're still
Total
ranked.
joke.
What?
Total.
Wow. All right. Notre Dame, USC. This may be the biggest game of the weekend. Notre Dame going to USC. USC a 5.5-point favorite. If USC wins out, they're probably going to be in the playoff. It's going to be hard to deny them. Notre Dame, they listen, at times they've looked like an elite type of team, or at least a really good team. At times they could not beat Marshall and Stanford. So what Notre Dame team shows up? And if the good Notre Dame team shows up, can they beat USC? That's the question.
No.
I don't think they can either. I like USC in this game.
They don't have enough offense.
No.
And if you're going to beat USC, now Notre Dame's defense is good, but I don't know that they can beat. No one is slowing USC down.
No.
Now. And what it comes down to is, okay, a good effort against USC, I think, would be to hold them to 31.
Uh-huh.
Well, that means Notre Dame would have to score 31. I'm not sure they can.
I'm not sure they can either. That's the problem.
Yeah, if they had more offense, I would give them a really good shot. Or if the game was in South Bend, I would give them a good shot. They're going to play good, I think. Yeah. I just don't think they're as good. I think USC has better athletes. They got the better quarterback, and when you got the better quarterback, you go with the team with the best quarterback. So they may blow them out. It's possible.
They're not going to blow them out, I don't think. But it feels a lot like a 34-24 or a 38-24 game to me.
Yeah.
It feels like hey, we held them down, but we couldn't score type of game.
Yeah.
So, all right, this one, it gets interesting. Tennessee, without the quarterback, Booker's out, off the loss, on the road against Vanderbilt, who's won 2 in a row, trying to get bowl eligible. And I mean, if Tennessee's season was ruined last weekend, it's absolutely freaking derailed if they lose at Vanderbilt. This Vanderbilt team is getting better. They get 14 points. Tennessee's a 14-point favorite here. What do you think about this game?
Oh, disaster if they lose. Total disaster.
Yep.
But you played 11 games and now you lost your quarterback. And you got to get somebody ready for game 12. And you're reeling from that loss.
Yep.
And it is, as you said, a monster game for Vanderbilt. They hate Tennessee. Tennessee they don't care anything about Vanderbilt in football because they don't lose hardly ever to Vanderbilt. Vandy's playing pretty darn good. 14 points. I don't think they win by 14. I think this is going to be tough. I don't know what their backup quarterback situation is, but most teams has proven this year, I don't care who you are, your backup is not anywhere close to your starter.
Yep.
So you're right. How are they going to get ready? You realize if they lose this, they are probably, right now, if they win, they're going to get a massive bowl game. They won't go to the Sugar, I don't think. They probably would go maybe to the Fiesta, somewhere like that.
Yeah, they're going to get a BCS or, the BCS
yes.
bowl, big bowl. Yeah.
If they lose, they're relegated to the Citrus Bowl, something in Florida on New Year's Day, that's good. But the paycheck is not even close to going to those big games.
Yeah.
Huge, huge game for them. This is where coaching comes in, man. Trying to get them ready.
Yeah.
Is the main thing. Even if your quarterback was playing, it would be difficult to get the team ready. So we'll see. This is going to be really interesting. Vanderbilt, let's see, they beat South Carolina and Florida the last 2 weeks. Is that right?
Kentucky.
Okay. Those two those are decent teams. They're not bad teams. They're not awful. If Tennessee comes in half cocked, this could be a big upset.
Dennis asked, when's the last time Vanderbilt was in a bowl? It really wasn't that long ago, actually.
Oh, they had a pretty good
Surprisingly.
when Franklin was there, when James Franklin was there.
Well, Mason did a good job. Well, good job for Vanderbilt there as well. They were in a bowl in 2018.
I'll be done.
Hadn't been all that long, but it would be big for them to get back because they really had fallen back to kind of that normal Vanderbilt standard. I'm taking Vanderbilt plus a 14.
Yeah, I think you have to.
Yep. Kansas and Kansas State. Kansas has fallen. But K-State, it's a rivalry game. K-State looks really, really good, last week or 2 weeks ago. And then last week, I guess you could say as well, going to West Virginia and win. Kind of feels like K-State should win here. 11.5-point favorites. What do you think about this one?
It's at home. It's more interesting than usual.
Yep.
Don't like the way Kansas played last week.
Nope.
Just got stomped. That game was in Lawrence. It's got to be disappointing. They started out 5-0. They're back to Kansas, 1-6 since that 5-0 start, kind of like Syracuse. So I think K-State wins. They've got their number. They've dominated them. They're better than they are. I think they cover.
Good pick. Good pick. All right, Washington and Washington State. We kind of talked about this. Still a lot to play for, and could be a whole lot to play for if Oregon loses. Washington, a 2-point favorite on the road against Washington State. Both teams pretty good. Washington, number 13, ranked 9-2. Washington State, 7-4. They're kind of sneaky. They've been decent. What do you think? This is going to be a hell of a game.
Well, I think this is one of the most overlooked teams in the country. The turnaround from last year, I couldn't even tell you their coach is. But he has done a tremendous job. Now, they have had a weak schedule in the Pac-12. They've dodged some teams. They did beat Oregon at Eugene. That means a lot. Washington State, I've seen them play. Their defense is pretty good. They're tough. Washington dominates this game, though. They usually win. And 2 points, I'm going to pick the Huskies to beat them simply because of past history.
Good pick again. I'm going with the Huskies as well in this game. I think it's going to mean just a little bit more to their season to pull this off. And you said it. They have kind of dominated. When these two teams are both decent, Washington usually wins.
Let me ask you this. Do they have a shot at the Rose Bowl? Would they take them?
I think Washington has a big shot at it, yeah.
Now, if USC is 10-2, they'll take USC.
Yes, but if
Washington USC doesn't make the playoffs, they'll take them, right?
Yeah, they probably will take. Well, they're going to take the Pac-12 champion. So if USC isn't in the playoff, then it's going to be whoever wins that Pac-12.
Exactly,
and that could be Washington.
Could be.
If USC makes the playoffs, that Rose Bowl team could be Washington if they win and Oregon loses.
That's right.
This weekend.
So Washington's got a shot at the Rose Bowl.
They have a shot. It's there's a lot that's going to have to happen and unfold, but it's not inconceivable that Oregon's going to lose to Oregon State, and then that opens up. That's the first door that has to open, so to speak.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's again, and the Pac-12 will be decided. Who's going to play USC? That's going to be decided right there in the games we laid out on Saturday afternoon and evening. So. Yep. Pac-12 was fun last week. It's going to be fun again this week. All right, let's rapid fire this NFL slate here. We'll go through these quickly, and we'll start with the Thanksgiving Day games. 3 pretty darn good football games, I think. The Lions and the Bills open it up. Of course, it's in Detroit. 3-4 weeks ago, you thought, another shitty Detroit game on Thanksgiving. Not so much anymore. Bills are kind of struggling. Josh Allen, not the healthiest, and the Lions are surging. Let me say it again. The Lions are surging into this game. Buffalo still a 9.5-point favorite. What do you think?
Rapid fire?
Rapid fire.
Detroit, plus 9.5.
Detroit, plus 9.5. Good pick, Papa Dude. You're 1 for 1. All right, let's move on. This is how we need to do all of them, just like that. Dennis says Lions, sneaky.
Yeah, that's
all
right.
Back on, this is a good one. I'm really looking forward to this. Giants and the Cowboys, both 7-3. Of course, the game in Dallas. 10-point favorite, though, for Dallas. I don't know if they can cover that or not. What about you?
Much better than the Giants. a much better team than the Giants. Will they perform on the big stage Thanksgiving Day? Sometimes they don't. So that's what we're looking at.
Yep.
Much more ability to score, you would think. Defensively, shouldn't they be able to shut down Barkley? I would think.
Yep.
Dallas minus 10.
Oh. No, I just don't want to take them minus 10 to do anything.
I'm a believer.
All right, I'm going to go with it, but
That may be.
I think Dallas is going to win this game, but 10 points is.
I just don't like the way the Giants played last week, and the Cowboys played great. Sometimes they don't parlay that into the next week, though. That's the thing.
All right, Dallas minus 10. I'm not as excited about that one. All right, this is a really good game here. The Vikings trying to bounce back from I don't even know what you want to call last week, but listen, they're still 8-2. It happens in the NFL. Whatever, It's over. 2.5-point favorites this week against the Patriots. I don't know how the Patriots are 6-4. I just don't. But what's going to happen in this one? This is another really interesting game.
Don't you hate to bet against the Patriots?
Yes. But how can I not take Minnesota in this game?
I know, but Minnesota looked awful.
I know, but still.
And Minnesota's been lucky.
Yeah.
I don't see any way the Patriots can win.
The Patriots, every time I watch them, I'm like, how did they win? Like,
I don't know, but you realize if they win this game, they are probably going to make the playoffs if they win this game.
I know.
And the scary part about Minnesota is they were not a good 8-1 team. You know, that's dumb to say, but they haven't been convincing to very many of us. And 8-2 now. If they lose this one, they'll be 8-3. And will they start reeling down the line? I don't know.
This is a big game for them.
It's huge for them. It's a bounce back for them. I cannot pick the Patriots. I just can't from what I've seen. I just can't. The line's small. So I've got to take Minnesota because my eyes have told me the Patriots cannot score enough points to win.
Listen, I'm taking Minnesota, and if they don't do this, I'm going to be very angry because they are. I don't care how they look last week; they're better than New England. But it's Thursday night on NBC. Kirk Cousins, I like him better than those noon games. I'm just saying. So, I don't know. Dennis says, what about the under? I think that could be good. 42.5.
Yeah.
Under on that.
That's pretty.
Listen, the Vikings should bounce back and win. I really believe that. So
they should.
All right, let's move on to Sunday. Let's move on. This will be a real
exciting
game. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're in the only division in the world they could win, but they're probably going to do it. And they go to Cleveland, one of the worst franchises in any sports, period. Like, forget about football. No, not just limited to that. One of the worst franchises there is out there. They're 3-7. The game is at Cleveland, like I said. Tampa Bay, 3.5-point favorite. Who you like?
By the way, this Sunday slate is horrid. If you want to pick a Sunday to skip the NFL, this is the one.
It's not great.
This is bad.
Yeah, it's not great.
If Tampa is truly back, if they've straightened their things out a little bit, they've had a week off, Tampa, easy, -3.5.
There's no way that will be easy. That much I promise you, but I do think Tampa wins the game. So this is one where the hook could kill you as well. Dennis mentioned it for that Michigan.
Yeah, that's true.
Game. I can see a 3-point win, but I'll take Tampa. I'm not betting the Browns to do anything other than be terrible. All right.
Good game here.
This is a good one. It's probably the best one of Sunday. The Bengals and the Titans. Cincinnati, a 2-point favorite on the road against the Titans. All the Titans do, they just win, right?
Yep.
And the Bengals have been hit and miss. What do you think about this one?
Most disrespected NFL team there is, Tennessee. They get absolutely no respect. They're usually about a 1-point favorite, or even against awful teams.
Mm-hmm.
They should not be the underdog in this game. They're at home. They play great in Nashville. Here's the thing. It's a much bigger game for the Bengals. than it is the Titans. This is a game that the Bengals can solidify a playoff spot if they win.
Well, get in a good spot. Yeah.
A wild card type of thing. When you look at the rest of the teams, because if you'll remember on Monday, we looked at Cincinnati's schedule. It is brutal. It is brutal. They're not going to win the division.
Yeah.
Baltimore's is easy compared to Cincinnati's, and Baltimore's got a game lead on them. So they need this one for wild card consideration. This is one of those toss-up games for them they really need because their schedule is tough coming down the stretch. So this is a big one for them. I think they're better than the Titans. Again, are you going to go with the theory, pick the best quarterback? Is that what the determining factor is going to be in this game, or are you just sold on Tennessee? That's what you got to decide. I'm staying away from it because I don't trust it. Tennessee. They just win. So, but I think the Bengals have the best quarterback and the most weapons. But I don't know if they're good enough to beat Tennessee in Nashville.
I'll take Tennessee plus the 2. I'll take them. If you describe a team as all they do is win and they're getting points, I'll take them.
Yeah, you have to think about it.
All right, one of the best games you'll ever see, the Texans and the Dolphins. I mean, the Texans changing quarterbacks. Kyle Allen going to be quarterback. Doesn't matter.
No.
Dolphins 13.5-point favorite. I mean, I don't know if you want to bet on a game like this or not, but the Dolphins should roll.
Dolphins minus 13.5.
Very good. All right, Bears and the Jets, another game that was really just a match made in heaven, these two teams. The Bears are without their quarterback most likely for the rest of the year. Josh Fields is out. Zach Wilson is out, not from injury, just being benched. Mike White is in. Jets are 5.5-point favorite. What do you think of this one?
Don't you think you have to stay away from this one completely because you don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be?
I think this is the equivalent of betting like I don't know, Northfield if you're watching harness racing. Just like I'm a degenerate and I have to bet because it's something. I mean, I would stay away from this one. I feel like without Fields, the Bears are in trouble, though.
Probably.
I would probably take the Jets, but I don't really
want to. And for the playoff picture, this is a huge game. Let's say New England somehow beats Minnesota. They go to 7-4.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say the Jets lose. They go to 6-5. I think the free fall is going to start for the Jets if they don't win this game.
Yeah,
so
the Jets really need to win.
Yeah,
they need to win this game.
Yes.
And there's no reason why they shouldn't. We'll see them. Falcons on the road, taking on the Commanders. Just a game that should be all kinds of fun. I'll tell you this, though. The Commanders are playing awfully well.
They're fun to watch.
The Falcons aren't horrible.
No, they're not.
4.5-point favorite here for Washington. I could see this being closer than that. What about you?
I like the way the Commanders are playing. Huge game for them. They've got to win this because then they're in the hunt.
Yeah.
They go to 7-5. And on the other hand, it's huge for the Falcons. They still are in the playoff picture because they're in the worst division in the history of the world.
Yep.
And they could go to 6-6. So a very big game. The Commanders have been beating better teams than the Falcons the last couple of weeks. Well, no, they didn't. They beat Tennessee. But they beat the Eagles the other night. So, yeah, that may be a few too many points, but I think the Commanders are going to win.
Yeah, I don't know what to do on this. The line is perfect. I think Washington wins, but I couldn't take a stand one way or the other.
I think that half's the hook again.
It could be. Yeah, I'm going to stay away from this one completely. I do think Washington does win the game. All right, in a game that probably will end the NFL forever, the Broncos go on the road to take on the Panthers. In what, I'm serious, this could be the worst game ever played in the NFL. The Broncos are the biggest disaster ever in the history of the league.
Yep.
And the Panthers are one of the worst teams I've ever watched, but we knew they were going to be bad coming in. Denver's a 2.5-point favorite. I don't.
Do you realize Denver is favored almost every week?
I do realize this, yes.
That tells you their schedule has been horrible, and they're still 3-7.
Can't win, and I'm not taking them here. I'm taking Carolina.
Oh, no, I don't think they win. You got to take the under.
The over-under is 36.
Okay, that means 20-17 would beat you.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I think it's 13-10.
I'm with Dennis.
17-14 won't beat you.
It might be 0-0.
Well, look at what we had last week. New England and New York, 3-3 until they run a punt back with 30 seconds left. Carolina and who the heck and Baltimore, 13-3. Yeah. Why would you expect this one to be 20-17 and beat you? I don't think you can. I'd take the under and feel good about it.
Yep, take the under, take the Panthers. That's what I would do. I'm serious. It's gonna be so bad. Another team that is, I don't know how they're 7-3. The Ravens, they go on the road. They're favored by 4 this week. They go on the road to take on the Jags.
Here's another thing I don't get. Anytime you go into Jacksonville and you're good, you're only favored by 3 or 4. I haven't figured that out yet either. They're 3-7.
I think this time it's warranted.
Baltimore should smoke them.
I think the Panthers will beat them. Or the Panthers. I think the Jaguars will beat them. I really do.
I hope so, because I hate Baltimore.
I 1,000% think the Jaguars will beat them.
Okay. I'm going Baltimore -4.
All right. Here's another game that may end coaching in the NFL forever. 2 of the worst to ever put on a headset.
Both should be fired.
What's that?
They both should go ahead and play this game, and then at the 50-yard line after the game, fire them both. That would be so cool.
I mean, I would be hilarious. Chargers and the Cardinals. I mean, this is a game. There's really, I can't even describe what's going to happen in this one. Chargers are a 3.5-point favorite. They're at Arizona. Arizona, it doesn't really matter where they play. They play the same every week. Shitty.
Yep. So do the Chargers.
What do you think? I mean, did the Chargers get a win here? They need it worse than Arizona.
Arizona's toast.
They're done. Yeah.
The Chargers have so much talent that they could, and they play in that awful division, except for the Chiefs, and they've already played them twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're done with the Chiefs. So they got Denver and they got Oakland or Vegas. They're going to play at least one of them once. I'm not too sure. They may have Denver twice. I'm not sure. So the game means a ton to them. But does that matter? I mean, I can't pick the Chargers. I can't, and I'm not picking the Cardinals either. So I don't have I'm just skipping it. Forget it.
I'll take the Chargers.
Oh, you're so stupid.
Well, Dennis says take the Cards plus 3.5. Why not? I can give you so many reasons why not. I mean, we would be here until Thanksgiving next year.
Yeah, you don't bet this game. Just forget it.
It's going to be ugly. All right, Raiders and the Seahawks, and the Seahawks are a 3.5-point favorite. Only a 3.5-point favorite.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of love, aren't they?
At home against the world. I mean, the Raiders are so bad. I'll take the Seahawks. What about you?
Yeah, I'm not even think on that one, but that just shows you nobody believes in the Seahawks. Nobody.
I believe in them.
Do you really?
No, probably not. All right, let's move on. Rams and the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a 14.5-point favorite. How about this? The Rams are horrifically bad. This should be name your score, shouldn't it?
It should be, but the Chiefs never cover 14.5. Never. That's the only thing. Jacksonville came in there a couple of weeks ago. They didn't cover.
No, they didn't. But
the Rams are so helpless right now, so injury riddled. But 14.5 in the NFL, that is always risky to take that.
All right, Saints and the 49ers. 49ers a 9.5-point favorite. Another seems like a dog game.
Yeah, and the 49ers are playing great right now. I think they're going to win the division. 9.5. That's a bunch. But I'm going to take them. I can see 27-17, maybe.
Niners big. Don't worry about it. All right. Green Bay and Philadelphia. Philadelphia is only a 6.5-point favorite here. I would kind of lean towards Green Bay if they hadn't played so bad the last week after beating Dallas. I will take the Eagles here. What about you?
Yeah, they're only 6.5 because no one believes in the Eagles yet. And the Packers have Aaron Rodgers, and that's the reason. And they're Green Bay. And they could get it. I think they're toast. Also, I think Rodgers will throw it in. I mean, what does he care if he goes in and wins a game in Philly? And what's that going to do for him? Not much. So I like the Eagles a lot.
I like the Eagles quite a bit in this game.
Oh, how about this?
Well, hold on. Well, Dennis has a question. He said, "Did you see George Kittle with the Pinta mask on in Mexico?" Yes, I did, but I wanted to ask Papa Dude. Papa Dude, did you see George Kittle with a Pinta mask on?
You want the truth? No, yeah. I did not watch 1 second of that game.
Do you know who Pinta is?
No.
All right. Let's.
No. Was that a wrestler?
Yes.
Well, good guess, wasn't it?
I'll get a picture of Pinta up after we're done here. One more, and then we can finish this stupidity.
Forget
Steelers
this.
And the Colts on Monday Night Football.
What are they thinking? This is a horrible game.
Horrible game. Colts are 2.5 point. I think the Colts win this game. What about you?
Colts -2.5.
Colts big. All right. That's it. We're done. All right. Question time.
All right. Let's make it quick. All right. Ready?
Yep.
All right. Something that you have to do. You have to do this. And it could be that's Pinta. Okay.
That's Pinta. Yes.
Right. George Kittle had that on?
Yes. Sort of.
Okay. Something you have to do sometimes that you absolutely hate. You have to do it sometimes, but you hate it.
All right.
No, I can think of 2 or 3 things.
I hate laundry. I really hate laundry.
That don't bother me.
I don't know. I guess I live a good life. There isn't a lot I could think
You like
of.
to go to the dentist?
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, okay. If we're gonna do that kind of stuff,
you have to go to the dentist eventually.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The doctor.
I don't mind the doctor, really.
Oh God, I hate it. Here's the one I hate the most. You have to do it sometimes.
Okay.
And help it if you travel. Going in a public restroom.
Oh, you've said this before. Yeah.
I absolutely hate it.
I don't care about that.
You don't?
No.
I don't like it.
Okay. Well.
I don't like it at all.
Well.
Okay, you ready?
Uh-huh.
What did you want to be when you were growing up?
Never knew.
You've never grown up, but anyway.
No, I never really knew, to be completely honest. I never knew.
You didn't have any. You're right. When you went to college, you didn't have any idea what you were going to do.
So I had a friend, and we were talking one day, and she said we were, I don't know how old we were. We may have been first year of college, and she said, what do you want to do? And I said, I don't know. And she said, I don't either. we never really knew, Yeah, that always bothered us. Everybody always kind of had like this idea, and I was like, I have no idea. No idea.
Sandy wanted to be a PE teacher, she said.
Oh, there you go.
Got to be able to spell PE first, honey.
Heather wanted to be a athletic trainer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a sports broadcaster.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
That would have been good.
Didn't happen. I wanted to be a newspaper guy.
Yeah.
Sports writer.
Uh-huh.
But I got to college and you had to take foreign language classes.
Oh God.
You had to take one. And I said I didn't because when I went to school, we had Latin, which is a dead language. I took 2 years of Latin because most words come from Latin.
Right.
But I never took French. I never took Spanish or anything. So they go, oh, don't worry about it. We'll put you in a French class. Nobody else will know anything either.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay. So first day I go to class and there's like 30 kids in there. And I go back and sit by this guy in the back that looks like he's stupid like me. So I go back there and I said, you know any French? He goes, not a word. And I said, good, I'll sit by you. So the teacher comes in and speaks French the entire 50-minute period, and everybody in there but me and that guy understood what the teacher was saying.
Wow.
So I walked over to the registrar's office and dropped the class immediately and decided I'm not going to be a sports writer.
All
right.
I don't think you needed to really take that class to be a sports writer, but
Oh, I didn't either.
Yeah.
Anyway. All
you
right.
just wanted to be a NASCAR driver.
Well, okay. I understand
good.
that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And
Okay.
I wanted to be a baseball player until I found out they could hit the ball a little better than me. So, all right. What's one place you've went to that did not live up to your expectations?
One place I've went to that did not live up to expectations.
What's yours?
When we were in Amarillo, there's a thing called the Cadillac Ranch. Isn't that what that's called?
I think so. Yeah. I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's never go.
No good.
It's literally just a bunch of cars that people have just painted all kinds of shit over in a field. Old cars.
What else did you expect?
Well, okay. So we were in Amarillo, and some people we hung out with some people that were from Amarillo or lived in Amarillo, and we said, so we're here 6 weeks or whatever. What is there anything to see that we need to see before we leave? Blah blah blah. And the place with the huge steak, I can't even think of the place. You get it for free if you eat it all.
Oh yeah,
Big Steer.
Yeah, Big Steer.
Okay, they told us to go there. Okay. It was okay.
Okay.
They told us to go down to the new ballpark they built. It's really cool. They're right. Yeah, that was cool. Dodgetown, I think the name of it was.
Lots to do in Amarillo.
They said we got a new movie arcade crazy thing. They serve you food at the movies. We went there. Awesome. Very cool. Loved it. I actually really liked Amarillo. And they said, but the one thing you got to do is go to the Cadillac Ranch. I said, all right. The dumbest thing I've ever been to in my life. Let's see if I can find it. So that definitely didn't live up to the expectation.
Well, this place is okay, but it didn't live up to my expectations.
Okay.
And I'm not saying it was bad because it wasn't. Grand Canyon.
Okay. Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed in the Grand Canyon. Yeah, that Cadillac Ranch not too cool.
That's the Cadillac Ranch. That's literally what it is.
No, that's not very cool.
And it literally is just a cut off little road off the interstate. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sandy went to the Four Corners in Colorado, New Mexico.
Yeah.
She didn't like it. Didn't like the Grand Canyon very much.
You know what I thought? And I didn't think Mount Rushmore was just the best thing I've ever seen.
Really? I kind of liked it.
It was okay. You liked it?
Were you? Yeah, I did. Were you disappointed with Mount Rushmore? Were you disappointed with Old Faithful in Yellowstone?
No.
That was pretty cool, wasn't it?
I shouldn't have said Mount Rushmore because it's not anywhere close to being as disappointing as what's on the screen. The Cadillac Ranch is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But no, Mount Rushmore, it's I don't know. It was okay. I shouldn't have said that. The Corn Palace, I hated that.
That was dumb.
Stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, you see 9 million signs for the. Oh, I didn't think the Badlands were anything to write home about either.
No.
All right, here we go. I watched this last night.
Okay.
What movie do you always enjoy watching over and over and over?
Step Brothers.
Okay. Anything else?
There's a bunch, but that's the one that always comes to mind.
Okay.
National Treasure, 100%.
We watched, and this is kind of a tradition, we watched Christmas Vacation last night.
Yep, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's funny every time.
Yep, that's a good one.
Even though you know exactly what's going to happen, it's funny every time.
The Godfather, I can't watch that over and over because it's long, but it is good. It's very good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way too long.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's enough for today.
Dennis had a question. I thought we had more Thanksgiving questions. Did we burn through all of those?
Yeah, I kind of did. Let me see if I can find. No, I went through all of them the other night.
Punch somebody in the face.
Well,
Given
oh, there's one. Sandy's one. Well, there would be nobody we'd punch at.
No, if there's one person.
There's one person that you really would like to punch in the face. He
At the
said,
table.
Thanksgiving, who would you punch? You can't say
If
that.
you had to punch somebody, who
You
would you
can't
punch?
say that.
Well,
They may
no.
be listening.
We can't. They can.
Well, I don't. I would. There
Well,
not anyone anyway.
I've been at Thanksgiving gatherings where I'd like to punch somebody in the face, but not the one we're going to be at tomorrow.
Oh well, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like anything.
There is one person on the other side that I bet every family member on that other side would want to punch that one person.
Yeah, but we can't say the name. So
No, but
uh,
you and I both know who it is.
Like of your entire life.
Sandy says her half sister she'd punch in the face.
Here's the thing. Favorite Thanksgiving side dishes. So
Okay,
I think that's a good one.
it is.
What's yours?
I was hearing today, and I don't understand this one. They were listing the favorite side dish
Uh-huh.
at Thanksgiving, which
Uh-huh.
I thought this was odd. It's not that it's not good. Mashed potatoes and gravy. I mean, I have
That
those.
wasn't the favorite. Stuffing was the favorite.
Stuffing was the favorite, but
Was
mashed
second.
potatoes and gravy was second. And I'm thinking I have those all the time.
That would be what I would pick, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Not me.
No, that's
Homemade
what
noodles all the way.
What's your favorite dessert?
Yeah, but I don't think that's like a traditional side. I think
Hmm.
that's like our family does that,
Oh, okay. Well, they are hard to make.
Like I've never ate those at any other place.
Really?
No.
It's kind of odd. We really, you probably don't remember, but I don't remember having mashed potatoes and gravy at ours.
Oh, yes.
Maybe I just didn't eat them.
Maybe. Yeah,
But
mashed
it
potatoes.
was always so full with the noodles, I couldn't get anything else on the plate. So, because they're
Yeah.
my absolute favorite. Favorite dessert, mine's pumpkin pie.
Yes. Yeah.
We talked about before. Why do we not eat pumpkin pie more than we do?
Right.
I fixed 2 today, and Sandy's wanting to get in ours really bad.
Yeah.
Because it does, it's enticing. It's sitting there and it's so pretty and it looks good and everything.
Yep.
But worst side dish.
Bree said she loves cranberry sauce.
You either like that or you don't.
Yeah. Worst dish. Well, if I don't like it, I don't eat it. So I couldn't tell you if it's bad or not.
Well, is there something that somebody brings that you just wonder why? There really isn't.
I gotta be honest, some of the stuff I don't even know what it is that I see sometimes. So
I don't know where this cranberry sauce came from. I never did care for it too much.
you don't like it.
No, I don't hate it. I mean, I can eat it, but
Right.
I don't like the celery plate. They put that kind of. I don't care.
Green bean casserole, that's a good one, Bree. Yeah, I'm the same. I don't
It depends on how it's made.
Dennis says he doesn't understand why people eat ham during Thanksgiving. Well,
That's a
I
good
think,
question.
like some of our family members eat it, and I think they just don't like the turkey quite as
They
much.
don't like turkey. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you gotta do the ham.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I can eat ham, but I'll take turkey over ham.
Yes, I could eat both. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Uh,
Yeah. I'm getting hungry. Thinking about it, but should be a bash tomorrow.
Yes, it should. Yes, it should. Corn casserole, Russ says. You like corn
Yes, if it's made right, you betcha.
Yeah.
And I like green bean casserole if it's made right, but if it's not, oh, it's hideous.
I'm never going to try that. So
We usually just have green beans at ours, and you don't like those. So.
nope, not going to eat those either. So tomorrow we've got turkey, we've got mashed potatoes, we've got mac and cheese, and I don't know what else we're going to have, but that'll probably be the main stuff that I eat.
You're going to have stuffing.
I won't eat that.
I like it.
No, I won't eat that. What else?
What do you mean?
No, that's all I'm going to eat. Yeah, that's all I'll eat. So-
Well, then you got the desserts.
Well, yeah. That don't count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Well, on that note, it's time to go. Time to get out.
It is. I'm going to a basketball game in a minute. So,
Well, you're going to go. Is it girls or boys tonight?
girls,
Girls. All right. There you go. Well, you guys have fun at that.
probably be 50 people there, maybe.
Yeah. We will be back next week for our show. Haven't heard from Jared. I'm going to guess Blinkers Off is going to be up on Friday. I would think we'll do a Friday show there. Who knows? We may go live during the Clark, something like that. That'd be kind of fun. A lot of big racing coming up. Racing sound like a redneck. A lot of big racing coming up this weekend, Thursday through Sunday as well. So check out that. All right, we're going to get out of here, guys. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Hope everybody has a good day tomorrow on Thanksgiving. And we'll see you
And
next
be careful. If you're out on the roads, be careful.
It's very busy out there. That's right.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. We'll see you next week.
This is Due to Bet Sports. Due to Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Due to Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Due to Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.